Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Vieira. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card. So in our first fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Elise Reed versus Sam Hughes. And how I see this one right here between Reed versus Hughes is I think Hughes does present an interesting test for Elise Reed, but ultimately I feel like it's a test that Reed will pass. I feel like Reed does lack in technical wrestling defense and technical wrestling in a bit, but I just don't feel like Hughes is the greatest wrestler. And I feel like Hughes in her last fight, she benefited from her opponent getting tired and getting flat-footed and just getting sloppy. I feel like Reed, while her technique isn't exactly, textbook, I feel like it's enough to, along with her footwork, to be able to keep this fight standing for the most part and, address the wrestling of Hughes. And it's not like Hughes had the greatest success outside of her last fight, again, when her opponent got flat-footed and tired. I like Reed should be able to draw reactions from Hughes with her feints, work behind the jab, work behind the combination, set Hughes up, use her footwork a lot, and that really be, her biggest factor to her getting her hand raised. So I just see Hughes using her feints, using her footwork, and having Hughes just like being off the mark, not really, like missing and, shooting for the shots and not being able to get a good angle or get a good shot out there, like, and not getting the best shots. And Reed, while her taking not being the best, being enough to be able to at least like say stuff to take down the Hughes and this out striker. So in this fight, I have Elise Reed via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Chase Hooper versus Felipe Colares. And how I see this one right here is two guys that definitely struggle in the striking department. Colares has been a high level, well, not a high level, I want to say that, but he definitely been taking a lot of damage and not getting stopped. The man will take a beating and stay in a lot of heart, but not the best striking. Hooper definitely has not taken the same level of damage, but definitely liking in the striking department and has been really a one-dimensional fighter, but a very young fighter. And I feel like he's been doing the things necessarily to improve. I'll give Colares a slight grappling advantage, striking match, a lean up. Probably still give Colares a slight striking advantage based off what we've seen, but I'm betting on the unseen. And I feel like Chase Hooper has been, going out there and searching for, to train with some of the best guys out there in the striking department. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and et cetera, et cetera. Like, so he's been going out there trying to sharpen up those tools. And I'm really just going based off that the unseen. Not a good thing to like. I typically don't lean to the unseen. I like you gotta show me, but this one with a matchup like tight like this, Hooper's the dog. I'm going with Hooper here. I feel like if he just made the slight adjustment, I feel that could go in there because not like he going in with Colares, who's such a world class striker, and like I'm expecting to make some big changes. Like he don't need the biggest jump to beat like Colares on the feet. I don't feel. And I feel like really, no matter how you play, it's gonna come down to who wants it more, who's gonna be more active. And I'm gonna lean to Hooper in that fact. So it's not just based. I'm expecting to make some big leap. I'm expecting just to make enough of a leap, and then just one and more and win off his work rate. A lot of grappling, a lot of scrambles, some striking exchanges, but Hooper being more active, taking more risks, and getting his hand raised. So in this fight, I got Chase Hooper via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Jonathan Martinez versus Vince Morales. And how I see this fight right here between Martinez versus Morales is, I think I think Martinez is coming in with some good stuff. He trains with the guy who destroyed him, Gutierrez. Like got a same camp, same gym, etc. So game plan that already had worked very successfully against him. He could use that against him or look to use that against him. But I'm expecting Vince Morales to have made some adjustments since then. That has been a little minute a while ago. And Morales looking pretty good right now. And Donovan, I don't know. I'm saying all this stuff. Like, what am I saying? I'm getting tongue-tied and brain-tied. But, yeah, Martinez is solid and all that. But defensively, he's definitely lacking a lot on the feet. I feel like Martinez is sharper on the feet as far as offensively and defensively. I like Martinez more offensively because he got more tools and he mixed up better. But defensively, always leaves a lot to be desired. Chin-wise, durability leaves a lot to be desired. And I feel like that's where I'm going to lean to Martinez. Also, I feel like he has the wrestling advantage. I don't think he'll have the greatest success, but I feel like he can mix it in there at times, give him a different look. Maybe get one takedown, maybe 1.5 takedowns on him. Then on feet, I feel like he really starts to capitalize on Martinez as Martinez starts to get active. When Martinez starts to get, starts to feel himself a little bit too much, I feel like that's when Martinez is really going to start to get into the fight more, start to turn the tide and catch him, catch him with his hands down a little. Like you let your hands go, you let the combination go, you leave yourself open for counters. And then Martinez starts to catch him in those exchanges, being the heavier striker and the guy with the better chin, better boxing. I feel like that's going to cause really start to shift the momentum in the second round with like a drop. In the third round, Martinez trying, build it back up his momentum and then get a little bit active again, gets dropped. And then I feel like Martinez finishes him off in that third round. So in this fight, I got Vince Morales via third round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Omar Morales versus Uros Medic. And how this fight right here between Morales versus Medic is, I think Uros Medic, I feel, is still the better striker here, but it's not a whole lot you can really judge based off. He fought 2 cans, and then he took a step up and got murked by Jalen Turner, who's looking like a beast. So you can't really write it too much against him just yet, because Jalen Turner is a beast. But you also can't write his wins too much for him, because like who has he beat? Well, I can at least say Omar Morales has been there with some like credible guys and beat some credible guys, lost to some credible guys. And he's been, I don't think he's ever been really stopped. Been some distance, so he's durable. So I feel like he definitely can stand the test if that's needed. Then I feel like he has the wrestling, has the other edge. My issue with Omar Morales is that he doesn't mix his wrestling enough. He actually has 100% takedown accuracy. I'm not saying that's going to be his reality. Like every time he wants a takedown, he's going to get one in fighting. But to this date, every takedown he has actually went for, he has got. But I'm not saying that's going to drop, like obviously drop a whole lot over the course of his career. Maybe not in this fight. He might still be able to keep 100% against Uros Medic. But if he go in there with better guys, people that have much better wrestling, and try to go for takedowns, then you're going to see that start to drop. Or people that just have better takedown defense, that's going to start to drop. But and also if he goes for more, obviously, law of numbers, he's going to start to drop. But yeah, going there with Medic is still very much one-dimensional. And he got destroyed in his very much one-dimension in his last fight. He's coming here. My issue, again, just if Omar Morales chooses to be one-dimensional, this could very much be a fight he loses and this to look dumb and make people that picked him look dumb. But if he go out there and fight smart and he be the smart fighter that he is, not be dumb and don't look like a dummy, and mixing in takedowns in this fight, should be easy, not easy, but should be a pretty simple decision. But I say it's going to be a case where he's not going to mix it up enough. It's going to be a tight enough striking matchup, probably be close, probably really leaning to Uros Medic, but then he's going to start to mix those takedowns in maybe around the second round, and that's going to be enough to edge the second and third round in a very close fight. Probably like a split decision type fight, because Omar Morales is not mixing his wrestling frequently enough and not too much of significance. They're probably getting outstructured by a little margin, slim margin, and that's going to like have the judges kind of like, make the judges, give the judges opportunity to still to fight for you, but still the judges going to be smart enough and see that, not Vince Morales, that Omar Morales had won. So in this fight, I have Omar Morales by decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Joseph Holmes versus Alan Amedovski. And how I see this one right here is Amedovski really ain't presenting nothing. Offensively wrestling like nothing to write home about. Offensively striking nothing to write home about. He got some power, and that's about it. Technique lacking, IQ lacking, grappling lacking. Joseph Holmes, he's a button fighter. He got some potential. He definitely got a length in this one. I feel like he got the technique. And it's all about putting together. I feel like he used that reach heavily against Amedovski, keeping the end of his range. Amedovski is swinging and missing, and Joseph Holmes is picking apart from distance. Then we start getting frustrated and try to close that gap. I see Holmes just level changing or just taking his momentum and just dragging him to the mat, working on him, then tapping out. And I say that in the second round. So in this fight, I got Joseph Holmes via second round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the middleweight division. Our first fight on the main card, Eric Anders versus Ju Young Park. And how I see this fight right here is I think Ju Young Park's a solid fighter. I just feel like he has a very low ceiling, and he has not really fought any credible competition just yet. I mean, you fought some decent guys, but Tafon Njokuani, that's a young fighter, solid fighter, but he's young and inexperienced. He's getting that experience up there, and like he hasn't reached that upper level. Like same with Young Park himself hasn't really reached that upper level. I haven't fought these real notable names. He fought Marc-Andre Barrault, good performance, but Andre Barrault, he's not exactly at that level. He's been around the UFC, put some time in, he's done decently enough, but he hasn't really fought the upper echelon himself. So, these people that have not really been up there. So, with Eric Anders, he's been in with Machida, former champion, and been in there with Thiago Santos, title challenger, been in there with some solid guys, been in there with Machado, who was just on a hot streak for a period of time. So, Eric Anders has been in there with some of these studs and been in there with some of the best out there. Good prospect. What's his name? He beat Allen and I think what's it called? Titan, not Titan, it was one of the league. FC. I'm forgetting the name of that league. It's a very popular league, but I don't know, I can't remember right now. By the way, all I'm trying to say, Eric Anders got experience across the board. It's not like it's the clearest matchup. Junior Park ain't no amazing wrestler. He ain't an amazing striker. He does put, I say, the really greatest thing about him in this one is that he does, I feel like, have a boxing advantage. And really, it does come down to what that truly, at its simplest, the advantage I feel he has is he knows more volume, whereas Eric Anders is kind of timid at times and don't really let his hands go, or at least kind of Woodley-ish at times. It doesn't let his hands go like you need to, and output be kind of slow. I mean, kind of low, and that where I feel like Junior Park can take advantage. I don't feel like he takes such a great advantage in the wrestling. I don't feel like he has such a great technical advantage. I feel like he does a little bit more. He's more active. That's really what it comes down to. And then people kind of rely on him to have such a great chin, but he just got knocked out in the last fight. And out proud of that, it's not like he went fighting people that have necessarily a great background of a lot of knockouts on their record. Like I said, people that aren't really that experienced, people like decision fighters almost like Marc-Andre Barrault. It ain't really been people that have like heavy certified leather. I feel like Eric Anders, based on the people he has fought at this level, is the heaviest hitter he has fought, but or maybe second to the last guy that's knocked him out, but probably either one or two right now. But yeah, I like Eric Anders' experience a lot in this one, and I feel like when we the deciding factor, I feel like Park will have the volume, but Eric Anders will land the heavy shots, and I feel like Eric Anders overall his wrestling has proven to be better at a higher level, and I feel like he will be able to win the clinching exchange. Close, but he'll still be able to win it, edge it, and being that experience that he's been in with these bigger fights, I feel like he'll be able to do enough in those crucial moments to get those takedowns or land that big shot to eke out a close decision over Junior Park. And like I said, I feel like he'll get like a second round drop over Junior Park. Park probably doing that jab, like head up, kind of pull him back with a little bit, be to catch him over the top, drop him, shift the momentum, then start to, like I said, get those takedowns in the crucial moments, or get a takedown in the crucial moment, and eke out a very close decision over Junior Park. So in this fight, I have Eric Anders via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Poliana Viana versus Tabitha Ricci. And a hot seat fight right here between Viana versus Ricci is I just feel like Ricci is just too small. You might get a little bit confused because she beat Maria Oliveira, who is that? You look at Maria Oliveira for a little bit in her fights, and that chick like she don't even want to fight. Like somebody, her dad or mom or sugar daddy or whatever the case may be, just put her in the cage. Like one-dimensional striker with no real threat and almost zero grappling. Versus Tabitha Ricci. That's the only reason I'll pick Ricci in that fight, because you went in with a one-dimensional striker with no real knockout threat, no submission game, no grappling game. So of course, stylistically, that's the fight you're gonna win. Now you're gonna win there with a fighter. Poliana Viana, not amazing, but she actually is a little bit of a threat on the feet, more experience, can match you in grappling, if not surpass you, can match you in striking, if not surpass. So I feel like Poliana Viana, and also she's bigger, and I feel like she's an actual weight class. Where I feel like Tabitha Ricci, really no ceiling. Like I mean, she really ain't got much hope at really sticking around in this league at 115. Maybe at 105, she'd be like a low-tier journeyman at 105. But 115 can't even really be that. Hey, she might pull out a win on this one, but it ain't really much going to go further. Like I said, she's just too undersized and lacking the skill to make up for that huge lack of size. I see Poliana Viana just going there and just really just dominating her and bullying her this whole fight. And Viana and Ricci just being too small, being too little, and just getting manhandled. So in this fight, I got Poliana Viana via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the heavyweight division, Parker Porter versus Jelton Almeida. And how I see this one right here is I just feel like I'm picking Almeida, but I feel like it's an unnecessary risk, unnecessary jump up, but I feel like his strength can carry up to heavyweight. Power, explosiveness, technique will surpass, the average heavyweight for sure, where Parker Porter kind of falls within. Just got to worry about his pace and also like the lack of acting. So I'm not saying, oh, this is a guy that's a lock bet your house on. It's not the case. It's a lot of risk on here and a lot of uncertainty and just a dumb order. I feel like he could easily find a better matchup than light heavyweight. I don't know why. I guess like I said, maybe the people around his ranking were ducking him, and the people above him like, I have no reason to fight you. So he like, I need to fight. I want money, so I'm going up there. So it's definitely a lot of risk there, but still a good enough bet. But definitely not. Don't go lose your house because this ain't that pick. But yeah, I just feel like Jelton Almeida is faster, more explosive, more tactical. I feel like him a little fill out process first round, then second round, touching him a little bit up top, gets him to react, duck under, drag him to the mat, heavy on top, landing ground to pound. I think he puts Parker Porter away in the second round. So in this fight, I got Jelton Almeida via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Chidi Njokuani versus Dusko Todorovic. And how I see one right here is I'm going with Dusko Todorovic, even though he got 9% takedown accuracy, which is very questionable. In reality, it seems like Chidi Njokuani could win, or should win, not could win, should win, based on that stat. I'm gonna go with Dusko Todorovic. I feel like he does have a huge grappling advantage. But he can get it to the mat. It seems like he struggled to get it to the mat. But I feel like every single time he has got to the mat, he has had success. Even though the people he had fought have been low tier, like Mikey Patolo. Maybe in the gym he's a solid guy, but in the cage so far he has been low tier for the most part. And then Dequan Towson, who was just like below UFC caliber, and he even got submitted by like a 145 failure. So I don't know. But I think he lost the decision. But anyway, yeah, Dusko Todorovic, that 9% accuracy really make you question. Now I feel like at this level, Njokuani probably ain't gonna get exposed in that grappling until maybe when he gets a little bit higher up in the ranking, that's gonna re-expose itself. Like he should pass by him, but I'm gonna stick with Dusko Todorovic. That was my initial pick. I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna ride with it. I think Dusko Todorovic will be getting messed up on the feet, but I think he'll be able to eventually find the takedowns. You know, those takedowns in the round, and be able to control Njokuani, and like with his grappling, secure position, land some heavy ground and pound. I think he beats him to a decision. I think it's like a fight where early on he struggles getting down, but I think eventually he starts to get him down, wear him down, and those takedowns start to come earlier. So probably give the first round, but maybe be able to get one takedown by the end of the round. Then those second round probably get another takedown, but like earlier on. Then third round, really be able to get him kind of early, maybe a little bit over a minute, and then be able to hold him down for the majority of the rest of the round, land a heavy ground and pound, and beat him to a decision. So in this one, I got Dusko Todorovic via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the welterweight division Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Michel Pereira. So how I see this one right here is I think Ponzinibbio is a solid fighter. I just feel like since his return, he has not been looking as sharp. Came back, got sparked by the Leech. Then after that, lackluster performance against Miguel Baeza, and every single time he was getting touched, he was getting hurt with anything a little bit significant. Then Jeff Neal, same exact thing, but Baeza, he was able to get by. Jeff Neal, he lost close. So he won close, then lost close. But again, every single time he gets touched with anything, he starts significant. Starts seeing wobble, starts seeing him go to a knee. Like the man can't really take damage right now. Looking slower. Reflex ain't there. But he's trying. But against Michel Pereira, I feel like Michel Pereira early on will be a little bit too fast. Probably touch him with some shots, hurt him. But I feel like Ponzinibbio will be able to rally, be able to bite down his mouthpiece, recover, and try to make something of it. But give up that first round due to Pereira's technique and speed and explosiveness in that first round. Second round, I feel like Ponzinibbio will be doing much better to walk him down, work behind his jab, and pressure Pereira. And Pereira kind of fade into a little bit. But I think eventually Pereira was able to find a good counter, stun Ponzinibbio, drop him probably, and start landing ground and pound to steal that second round. Then third round, Ponzinibbio comes on aggressive, and then walks right to counters. Pereira probably hits with a step back, flying, like reverse flying knee, drop him. He comes back up trying to stand back up, then gets caught with overhand. I mean, not Pereira, but Pereira doing this to Ponzinibbio. And then he drops him again and just finishes him off with some ground and pound, probably like 2 minutes into that third round. So in this fight, I got Michel Pereira via third round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the women's bantamweight division, Holly Holm versus Caitlin Vieira. And how I see fight right here between Holm versus Vieira is, the grappling definitely concerned me against Holm because we have not really seen Holm deal with that since Miesha Tate, and obviously that didn't go that well. But we have seen in recent years her offensive grappling and wrestling has looked a lot better. So you got to assume that her defense has improved a lot better, and overall her grappling has improved a lot better. Definitely her grappling has improved a lot better, but again, defense we have not seen it because she's really been going with people that have looked to strike with her. And actually, she's been the one that's been grappling. Like against Pennington, she grappled. Against Aldana, she grappled. So, or cage hold and one. I mean, that's a cage hold. Against Cyborg, she was the one actually kind of grappling. So, yeah, cage hold. I don't know why I'm talking like that's funny. But anywho, yeah, Holly Holm has been one grab. So Caitlin Vieira could definitely pose an interesting threat in the grappling. Striking wise, I don't really see no big threat. Maybe power and just been heavy and sloppy. Maybe she land a big sloppy leg kick and blow Holly Holm's leg out. Maybe she go for a takedown, a sloppy takedown, and jerks Holly Holm somewhere and blow her knees out or something, or blow her back out. But other than that, I see Vieira has been flat-footed, sloppy, and also Vieira has historically done well against grapplers. She hasn't done well against strikers necessarily. She's done well against grapplers. Like she can be big, strong, got decent enough wrestling and grappling to neutralize a wrestler like maybe McMahon, and then this mop them on the feet, just being bigger and using her size, being a big weight bully on them, or a big young bully, schoolyard bully style against them, or like Miesha Tate, like stuff her takedowns and just beat her up. And I feel like, because again, those people striking ain't really that high caliber, so even though her striking isn't the best, she's bigger. She can stuff the takedown, maybe score takedowns on them, and then just be bigger, heavier, and land heavier shots and win. Like even if we take out a couple takedowns, landed more shots, but Vieira being big, being able to keep it on the feet, didn't land as many shots, but her shots were heavier. Her shots did more. So like she's sloppy, but she could beat some wrestlers and like kind of just be that anti-wrestler or the anti-grappler in the women's bantamweight division. But going against Holly Holm, I feel like she can do the full pack. I feel like Holm is just the more technical fighter all overall. Maybe not submission grappling, maybe not wrestling. Well, probably wrestling. I feel like wrestling definitely more polished. So I see Holm just making her miss, landing her combinations, ending off like finishing the combination off with kicks, and having Vieira, just eating a lot of those combinations and looking lost out there. And I see Vieira at times trying to desperation grapple or trying to like crash her way into the clinch. But Holm been able to get the underhooks, turn her, and then go back to standing. Maybe even try to hold her against cage herself. So I see a lot of cage holding, not cage holding, but like clinch battles against the cage. But I feel like Holm will be able to eke those out just a little bit as well. But on the feet, I definitely give Holm a clear advantage. Then eventually the rounds start to go deeper in. Holm starts to mix up her work a little bit. I think she starts to mix it to the ground and starts to drag Vieira to the ground. Like hit her with a blitz or fake like she will go for a blitz. Level change, maybe go for like a outside trip, drag her to the mat, and then work from inside her guard and just maybe put a little ice on the round. And when Vieira's already frustrated, getting tired, not really doing the most of her back, not really having that explosive ability to slow back to her feet, not to work for no sweeps or nothing. And Holm just like I said, getting those takedowns, holding that position, probably laying a little bit of ground and pound, and putting ice in on some of these rounds. And I see Holm just being a veteran. I see her being more polished, being more technique, and it's been overall smarter out there. And utilize her tools and her skills to the best of her ability in beating Vieira pretty comfortably on the decisions. I think it's still Vieira, like, on the scorecards will be comfortable. Obviously, the fight ain't going to be comfortable. But I feel like decision-wise, it will be an easy decision for them to score for Holm. Vieira might still a round or two at most. I really feel like it's me a round, maybe a round and a half. I feel like maybe one judge, but I think most other judges can be like, probably say 50-45 or like 48-47. That's what I feel the case going to be. So, in this fight, I have Holly Holm via decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for the four-quarter fights for UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Vieira. And as always, thanks for watching.